What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Just got everything loaded up. We're heading back out to Doug's house and gonna do a little bit of work on that plot that I've been working on for their native grass seeding, which they're gonna seed next year, but we're gonna seed it today. So I want to bring you guys along. I've got all the clover seed and everything in the ATV loaded up, four-wheelers all loaded up, got the Cultipacker, got the sprayer on there ready to go, as well as the spreader with the new mount that I built. So we're gonna head out there. It's been about 2 weeks since the last video where we did the final disking of it, so I'm gonna head out there today. It's starting to green up a little bit. I'm gonna spray it all off first, and then if it's super soft, it's rained a few times since then, so I'm not expecting it to be real soft, but it's real soft, I'll cultipack it first and then spread the seed and then cultipack it again, just because you don't want to get the clover seed too deep, and if it's super soft, I think that cultipacker will push it too deep. So we'll see what it's like when we get out there. I haven't walked around in it since it's rained a few times, so otherwise let's get rocking and rolling, head out there. I'll see you when we get there. All right, we made it. I got the sprayer all filled up full of glyphosate, and then I also put some fusilade in there, which is a grass specific herbicide, but this is actually firmed up pretty nice, so I shouldn't have to pre-cultipack it. Should be able to just go ahead and seed it, but it looks pretty good. It's pretty smooth, other than like the small clumps of grass, but that shouldn't be too big of an issue. So we're gonna go ahead and spray it, get all these weeds and grass killed, and then I'll go hook up my spreader and we'll seed it and then cultipack it. So stay tuned, we're gonna get to spraying. Alright, I just came back to fill the sprayer up again. I wanted to show you guys exactly what I'm using. So this is 41% glyphosate. Kills pretty much everything. Not very good on brush, but it'll kill most all plants. I know there's some sun hemp species that are pretty much tolerant to glyphosate now, and then I'm also spraying this Fusilade DX, which is a select herbicide. Kills annual and perennial grasses only, so it does not kill any broadleafs. And then to go with the Fusilade, I'm also using some surfactant, which is pretty much crop oil, or it's a transporter. Helps bond that chemical to the plant for longer periods of time and helps kill it quicker, so, and kill it deader, I should say. But that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'll let you guys know if it works or not. This is the first time I've tried that Fusilade. Usually I use clethodim, but the store that I bought it from was all out of clethodim, so we'll see what happens. Everything I read online looks like it should work, so, but I'm gonna go back, spray this last tank, and then we're gonna get to spreading some seeds, so stay tuned. We're almost there. Well, just finished up spraying and got the spreader mounted up. So you can see here the bracket that I built plugs right into the receiver, and then I have to pull it to the left to make it perfectly level. So then I've just got this ratchet strap over here, so that'll help keep it level and stop it from shaking around. But from what I've read, you want to plant about 6 to 8 pounds per acre of clover, and I think I've got 12 or 15 pounds. So I don't quite have enough. I think in that spot over there is about 2 acres. So I brought some other seed we'll mix in with it. I've got some rape seed, and then I think there's some turnips and radishes. So just to make sure we get a good coverage, cover the ground as good as we can with something that's easy to kill for next year when we go to do that native grass planting. So I'm gonna get over there and I'll get the spreader all loaded up and see how it works. This will be the first time using it, so I'm kind of excited just to see how it works. So, and I don't know if you guys saw my last video with the spreader where I finished the bracket, and I did end up shortening this harness here so it's not dangling all over the place. Basically, you're going to plug directly into that, and I think it should work pretty well. If you guys haven't checked out that video, I'll link it up above. Go and check that out. It's a custom bracket that I built for a Polaris, or I could use it for any four-wheeler or UTV to do a hitch mount for a spreader. So let's head over there, get the spreader loaded up, and get to seeding. This is just a cheap Clover blend that I purchased at the store. It was the cheapest thing they had. We're just using it pretty much as a cover crop. So, and then this is just a cover crop blend. I think there's about 5 different varieties of clover in this blend. So, and it looks like 5 or 6 probably in that plot spike mix. But we're gonna get her all thrown together in here and get to spreading. So I'll show you guys the combination of seed. It's all going to be small seed stuff, so shouldn't have any issue spreading and getting a good rate out of the spreader. So hopefully she works good. If not, we're gonna have to have a plan B. But I'm gonna get the rest of this stuff loaded up and I'll be back with you guys. So here's the final blend. You can see there's several different types of clovers, and then I threw a little bit of rapeseed in. But I think that should be enough seed to cover this whole plot. I guess we'll find out. But one of the big things you don't want to do is to overseed it. So I'm going to start out thin, and if I have to make 2 passes, I would rather do that than run out of seed halfway through. So let's get to seeding. That's a wrap. Sorry I didn't get much footage, but it was a little hectic. I started down that far edge over there first, and I noticed that the seed was going a lot quicker than I thought it was going to, so then I sped up, went along this edge, and then I came back and just did north-south passes, and I ended up getting through the entire thing. And then I came back about midway to where I started, and I was going a little bit quicker on this side after I could kind of watch the seed level, and came back and did some passes over here again. So it should be pretty much even thickness throughout. If anything, that very first pass along that edge might be the thickest, because that's where I was going the slowest. But the spreader worked awesome. The only bad part about it is, yeah, you can't tell exactly what your flow rate is. You can see my opening that I had here is just very, very tiny, but super small seeds. So seemed to work all right. I made it through the whole thing without running out, and I had enough where I could go back and make a couple passes in some areas that I thought might be thin. So that pretty much does it for the seeding. This did not come with an agitator, so I added that cotter pin. I'll turn it on. So I added this cotter pin in here to agitate the seed, and that looked like it worked awesome. I was running, on my meter, I was running about 7 for a speed, and once the seed got down to where that cotter pin is, it was kind of just almost like a air bath. You could see the seed just agitating, so it worked pretty good. Overall, I'd say it's definitely worth the money. I wish they made a bracket for Polaris, but this one that I made is actually worked out awesome, and I don't have to have it connected to my rack on my four-wheeler, so that's a big bonus too. But now we're gonna run back, get the Cultipacker, come Cultipack all of this hopefully before dark, and then we'll be done. Just wait for some rain. So all the greens should be dying here in the next week or two, and then everything that we're seeding today should be sprouting. So everything's coming together. I'm also gonna try to get my buddy Brad over here with his planter and run a couple of rows of sunflowers around the outside, kind of like a horseshoe, just around the west side, north side, and east side. I think it would be pretty cool. And there's a lot of pheasants across the road, so might get some pheasants over here in those sunflowers and be able to smack a couple this fall. But let's go get the Cultipacker and get to packing. Get this beast hooked up. And the one thing I do dislike about this ATV, this muffler's right here next to the hitch. So good chance you can bang your knuckles into the muffler or your whole hand, but as long as you're careful, it's not terrible. But seems like a bad design for a sportsman, which is made to do work. So just my 2 cents. So Cultipacker is hooked up. Let's head out there and get to packing. Sun's starting to go down, so let's say we got about 2 hours before dark. Let's go get her done. So here's the Cultipacker that I built. Obviously I had the Packer wheels, but I completely built the frame, put the axle, wheels, tires on it. And I had a few people question, how exactly it works. But basically it's just got a clevis pin hitch on it. So all I do now, I got to the spot that I want to be, and I'm going to unhitch it, flip it over, and hitch it back up. I'll show you guys quick. Just like that, we are ready to pack. So let's get after it. Working awesome. Well, the sun is setting, so I kind of want to wrap this up before it gets too dark out, but you can see the Packer's just doing awesome. Just kind of give you an idea what you see after it's done. So it's pushing all that seed down, getting good seed to soil contact. Kind of nice and fluffy right there on the first ½ inch. But yeah, it's doing awesome. With it being only 4 feet wide, it's about the same width as the four-wheeler. Takes quite a while to cover 2 acres, but I'm about 3/4 of the way done. My last pass is right there because I started on that side, so I've worked all the way over to about right there, and then on this side, so got that much more to go. But that's gonna wrap this video up, guys. Thanks for stopping by. If you subscribe to the channel for boat stuff, I've got a boat video coming soon. Gonna be working on that probably here in the next week or so. But otherwise, thanks again. As always, if you haven't already, please subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.